It's become one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Two highly skilled athletes enter the octagon to test each other's skills and find out which is the superior fighter.
And no promotion showcases these matchups better than the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
An organization known to millions as simply the UFC. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg, and I'm here to talk about a sport that's been selling out arenas all over the world and exhilarating fans for years. But how did the UFC become such a major sports powerhouse? What are the rules? And most importantly, what does the future hold? These are just a few of the topics we'll be exploring as we examine just what exactly is the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
The UFC is the biggest mixed martial arts promoter in the world. This is where all the big fighters end up. This is where all the best fighters in the world test themselves to really see who is number one in their respective weight classes.
You ready? Bring it on.
Here we go.
When people talk about the sport of mixed martial arts, they talk about the UFC. The acronym UFC is almost synonymous because people look at the sport, no matter who's fighting, where's fighting, or who they're fighting for, and think it's ultimate fighting.
The only reason it's really become popular is it's the most exciting sport in the world, let alone the most exciting combat sport in the world. When you flip around and watch it on TV, you're like, oh, this is cool, I like the UFC or whatever, and you're watching it. But when you go to a live event, I can guarantee you've never been to a sporting event in your life with the energy, the excitement that you get from a UFC live event.
You know, there is not one fan sitting right now for this George St. Pierre is the new welterweight champion.
Unbelievable shot.
The simple fact is that the UFC is the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts. The best athletes are in this organization. When you're fighting for a title and you have the title in that weight class and that title says you're number one in the world, you do know you're number one in the world.
The UFC was originally started by a bunch of guys who got together and wanted to answer the age-old question, which fighting style is the best? Would a karate guy beat a kung fu guy? Would a wrestler beat a boxer? And it was really supposed to only be one event. It did so well on pay-per-view that it rivaled the WWE and major boxing events at the time. So these guys said, let's do another. So they did another and another and another. What they never realized is that they were creating a sport.
But even with its early success and growing popularity, the UFC still had serious issues to address.
When the sport first started, when it was not under the unified rules, they had rounds with no time limit, they didn't have judges.
The problem with the UFC in the early days was that there were no rules. This thing was touted as no rules, no holds barred, the most brutal, bloody, violent sport in the world. 2 men enter the cage, 1 man leaves, you know, implying that people were going to get killed. When realistically, even back in the crazy days, there's never been a death or serious injury in the UFC.
They prided themselves on saying, no holds barred, anything goes.
Quick, he's got to be quick. And through the other gate.
And I went on national television to discuss this. I was with Senator McCain on one side, Larry King in the middle as the moderator, and I said it would never come to the state of Nevada as long as they had no rules and anything goes.
But in November of 2000, the state of New Jersey granted the UFC a temporary license, as long as they followed some guidelines.
I was actually at the first UFC sanctioned fight in New Jersey. I had a fighter on that card. Basically what happened was the state of New Jersey, Larry Hazard, is a former martial artist, and he was the head of the athletic commission in New Jersey. So he understood it better and really gave birth to the first sanctioned mixed martial arts event in the United States.
What's significant about that is that this is a fight that we put the rules together in late 2000. We, the New Jersey Commission, the Nevada Commission, and several of the promoters, and came up with the unified rules, and then the state of New Jersey had the first fight under these rules.
Having unified rules will help mixed martial arts grow because the rules define it as a sport. And so if there's one set of rules, then we're all competing in one sport.
I actually went to California, helped the UFC testify in front of the Athletic Commission out there, and then, of course, had many conversations with the Ohio Athletic Commission when they were trying to get everything sanctioned.
Since we bought the company in 2001, there's now 35 states that follow the unified rules of mixed martial arts.